call the meeting to order. Policy and Procedure Committee, April 28, 2016, 9 a.m. Amanda, call the roll, please.
Raymond.
Present.
Hanson.
Yes.
Sure.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Anderson.
Present. Public comment. Charlie.
Yeah, put it under the public comment. I don't know where else we can put it. During the last Finance Committee meeting, you had a CD to renew for garbage or recycling center money. And I brought up the question, why don't we use that now? Use it some way, and some members thought there were stipulations on how it could be used. I think that ought to be looked into, determined, and find out what we can do with it. One idea I thought of was have a recycling day for computers and all of that kind of stuff. And I think I'm on the right trail with that. The FFA at System Park had one last Saturday in conjunction with their community sale. And I was told they filled a 20-foot truck bed and 3 hay rack loads of that. And they said they had an agreement with Kankakee Recycling that they'd take it, even though now they're buying the stuff rather than, but then somehow they may not be buying it all, they're not sure yet. But those things that have to be looked into, but if we had a countywide one, it'd be big and cumbersome, but maybe it'd be the best thing we could do, use some of that money for that. And I also had another idea that if we could use that funds for maybe just borrowing type of thing, and this load up trailer that everybody's talking about, borrow money to get rid of that thing, and there's a lien on the property, eventually it would have to be paid back if there was any transaction of the property, and that would re-establish the money back to the fund, maybe to be used again for the same kind of thing somewhere else. It's just something I think we ought to look into pretty seriously.
You didn't talk to Jim, did you, Kevin?
I got a hold of Kyle Bruno, the guy that runs River Valley, and he's supposed to be getting back with me on that. And I think the problem you'll have with borrowing money to clean up the trailer is, I could be wrong on this, but normally, financially, we can't borrow money, we can't pay back the same fiscal year. So you're borrowing money to do that, and the lien is going to be,
We don't know how long the lien will be.
the person lives forever.
It could be a year.
Yeah. I'd be a little leery of that, but we are working on that, and Mindy's got some information from different areas.
And I heard too that our state representative might be interested in working on it.
I haven't heard that.
No, because the source that they had used previously, it went up quite a bit because they were charging for the TVs and the people use.
But supposedly it was a organization like ours, I think, the FFA. They were going to have a day they were bringing in on a truck. That would be neat. The other way would have to be charged you if you deliver something.
The company they used previously was in the Joliet area, and I've got some information from them.
I told Kyle that we needed some information by next Thursday, and he said he would get back with me. If he doesn't, we need to proceed somewhere else. But I think something should be set up every year. Because every one of these things, somebody ain't got a place to put it. They're going to throw the road there somewhere. And your township's got to pick it up, or the county's got to pick it up.
It looks to me like you don't ever do it every so often. It's just going to pile up that more when it makes things go happen.
You're right, I think so. It'd be good to get something done there. And we got that money sitting there. We could do this annually.
Yeah.
It would be
If
good.
they have the setup points where everybody knows where to go. By the way, the System Park Boy Scouts have already volunteered in System Park for anything like this.
That's something you can do with that money that it's meant for. You know,
What restrictions are there on the use of that money?
you'd have to ask him. I never got a hold of him. You know, I'll try to get a hold of him before finance, or have him at finance to answer the questions. Give him a heads up.
Maybe a community service, that's all I see, that countywide would be good.
We've been kind of lax. We got that money for a long time, and it's not doing nothing. We should be using that.
But if it was money that
the use of which was established by the county board, then the county board ought to be able to modify or change that, but if
I
it's
think
from
that was
a...
set up by statute.
There is a solid waste state statute.
Yeah, state statute.
There's a state statute on it, the money came from the state?
No, the money comes from the landfill. They limit how you... I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that the tipping fees is where this money comes from.
Right.
And you had to have that set up, I would think you would have had to have it set up certain ways, and the laws might have changed now. Because it seemed like Kankakee, when they were trying to set theirs up, they were going through a lot of different things. But I'll try to get Jim here for next Thursday's finance meeting to answer questions. I'll give him a tip on it, and maybe he can even send us something if he can't be here.
I've seen there ought to be some way to be able to put the money to good use.
Yeah, so I can't imagine government leaving that kind of money set, and they're not after it.
Right.
Maybe other communities have had these before, but I know since the park had one about 4 years ago, now have one, this was that big one before, right across the street from here, at the Saturday race area, you know? Man, it was a line of cars all over the place, delivering everything from...
I'll make a point, I got a hold of Kyle, I'll make a point to get a hold of Jim, and we'll see what we can come up with something by next Thursday.
I think the better you just started on it, to take some time to organize this.
Well, yeah, we
We
gotta,
missed something before we get started our position now.
we'd have to come up with an idea on if we're gonna have one central location that they dump stuff off.
In this big county, I think some people argue that I got too far to go to your dump site.
Well,
How
Kyle,
many trucks are you going to have there? Yes, how much is going to be delivered?
Kyle said he didn't want it at River Valley Recycling because he said what'll happen is we'll have it a day or 2 days, and then people will be dumping shit at the gate all the time. So we need to.
Several communities have different points. The average person doesn't want to drive 20 miles to deliver it.
And if we get to where we're doing this on an annual basis, we could rotate the communities, having like every other community the next year have it that way. There's a lot of opportunity here. Well, I'll get a hold of Jim, and I got a hold of Kyle, and she's got information from the other, from Barry Green and
And I think the people are better put forward as the county goes, but it's good stuff.
well, it's a problem we need to take care of.
All right. Thanks, Charlie. Any other public comment? Seeing none. Go on to committee chair reports. Dan, planning and zoning.
Taking our usual reports. So, that's it. I don't think anything outside of this garden thing. There's nothing of this. The life's smooth.
Budgets are coming. Budget season.
Well, let's not talk about that. We're the plan.
Lyle management.
We're talking phone bills, rents, and standard things that we've been doing.
John Schur, public safety, judicial.
We'll just be taking normal reports. If there's anything unusual that's coming up this month.
You want to touch on IT while we're doing committee chair reports since Troy's not here? Or you want to do that later down the line or never?
No, I don't know if you want me to go into all the gory details, but our UPC failed yesterday. The UPC is everything, all the server and all the switches run through the UPC. That does a couple of things. One is a quick battery backup if the electricity goes out, and it protects our equipment from power surges. Well, it failed yesterday at 10 minutes to 2, and so we lost the whole network and all the voice over internet lines. Everything went down. So actually, night came down, and I mean, I called area right away. Rusty was in Danville, and he left Danville, started driving here. And then over the phone, we cobbled together 3 small. The issue is it's such a big UPC, we don't have a spare. You know, it's $1,000, and they typically don't fail. So I keep in my back room little ones for each of the workstations. And so we pulled out both of those. I had 2 in stock, pulled out both of those, plugged those in. We plugged the switches into that. The servers, 911 brought down a little larger one, a 1400 volt, from one of their workstations. And we plugged the main servers into that. So we're back up and running. Rusty came here, kind of checked everything out. But because of where it went down, it didn't come up real easy, so it took us a couple hours to get everything back up. But it's up and running. APC, who's the manufacturer, is sending us a new one. It will be here, they say 3 to 5 days. Replacement at, I don't think it's going to cost anything, but we'll see. But right now we've got some time and that's all. So I think Rusty and I talked last night. We're hoping that it gets here next Tuesday, because I'd like them to come to IT on Tuesday to talk about a couple of things. One, how can we better protect ourselves? It is an unusual event. We were down for about an hour and 20 minutes, don't you think, something like that. Not horrible, but you don't want to see it happen. So what would it cost us to have fail-safe so it'll never happen again? Or what cost of that, and is that worth it to us? So that's that was my afternoon yesterday. A lot of running around and monkeying around, but we're working now, functioning, but you don't want to leave it that way. I mean, one of those new PCs we're using right now is at like 90%. You don't want to be that close, because if you have a power surge, you're going to pop it real quick. So, especially this time of year when it's so stormy, you want a lot of extra voltage anyway in there. So, but that's where we're at. All is good today.
So far.
So far.
9/10.
So far.
Lights, electric, family.
Yeah.
Questions on that? Okay. As the report, Eric's down in Springfield, so I'll have, bring that to finance probably, get that. I'm sure it has something to do, we could probably tell you that it's stormy season, so watch out for that, but I'm not entirely sure what his report will entail, but it'll come to finance. No chairman comments. Appointment, I have a letter from Lou Ellen Strong. This says John Sumner's term on the board for persons with developmental disabilities, the 377 board has expired. She recently spoke with John. He was willing to continue to serve on the board, reappointed. They wanted to do it in May. That way they can make it to their annual July meeting. Unless somebody else wants to knows of anybody in the next 7 to 10 days that is willing to serve on that board, that's probably the route we'll go. A heads up on that one. Correspondence. Did you give everybody some of these? Aquifer.
No, I just wanted to
One of these is about the Muhammad Aquifer. John will summarize that here momentarily. This went out to everybody, correct?
Yes.
I never did follow up on this. We should probably see how this one from Kelly Murray affects us, if it does.
So this thing, we gotta give them something back?
I'm not sure. This is from the Illinois Association of County Board. That's the one we're not even a member of. So we'll get on that and take a look, but the answer is I don't know yet. You don't know anything about this, do you, Anita? I don't. We'll
Give George everybody? The replacement tax, you know, the pay me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Yep.
$26,867 is what they paid for the quick count.
And they've told you anything else?
We will be working with the impacted taxing districts to establish a plan to recapture the funds over an extended period of time.
Great, so they don't want it next month.
Extended period of time.
They're not gonna work.
Yeah, it's really the school district. This is the list for the whole state. It was fire districts, townships, villages, counties, yeah.
Pretty much everybody. Something right.
One who made that mistake, right? How about they?
Don't they balance our books?
They're blaming the previous administration's general ledger system.
That's who I would blame, the people that are gone.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, this was one of them. Do you want to tell about, we went to the committee and I went up north to a seminar one day. Was that last year, 2 years ago, I think, from the Department of Revenue, where they talked about all these different taxes and that go to the state and are allocated back to us. And I mean, I don't know how many people ask, can we see how it's calculated? No, you can't see that. But it is taxed us. Can't you tell us, like even sales tax, what entities are included? No, you can't see that. So there's no way for an entity to know whether what we're getting done is right or not. We just take the money and we're happy with it. And then we can't tell if it's wrong or not. But the people that made the $28 million mistake, now we got to trust the fact that, oh, it's off by 1.6 million, however many millions it is, billions, right? Trust us, now it's right, now you just owe me back 26 million, 26,000.
No idea where they came up from.
You can trust them, you just ask them.
Yeah.
You ever dealt with them on a different level of where you're at now? I remember the two rules. One, they don't make mistakes. And two, if they do make a mistake, refer to Rule 1. Because that's how it goes. The sales tax, that is a nightmare.
Yeah, it was just over 168 million that they owe.
I can see them work.
You forgot Rule 3, Kevin. If we make a mistake, you pay.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Well, and it says in the press release that it started in 2014.
So this is over 3 years? I really ain't that
Started
bad.
in 2014.
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. Everybody have a,
We only give you the penalty for the mistake. That's how I like it.
keep on top of that one, see how that's progressive. But did everybody have a chance to look at the claims? Looks like I got 2 mileage and travel and telephone from Eric. We have a motion from John Scher to approve the claims. Is there a second? Kevin Hansen. Any questions? Let's call the roll, please.
Raymond?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes. Old business. New business. Have a motion to adjourn. Kevin Hansen, seconded by Lyle Barron. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.